This way, you will have all of that lesson's information at your fingertips. Lesson 8 is our Report to You project, the at-home research project that allows the students to do a little research, create a report, and bring the results back to share with the class. Ideally, this project would be assigned during Lesson 1, and the whole Lesson 8 time can be spent in reporting back to you. But if you opt to wait until Lesson 8 to make your assignments, you will need to either allow them more time to complete this task, or you will need to modify what you want them to do. As was already mentioned, Lessons 9 and 10 are review and assessment lessons. Quizzes and tests are in your packet, while answer keys are a separate document in your packet. In Lesson 9, you will administer the OpenNote Worldview quiz. You may also have the students participate in a classroom game where they answer questions that you have formed from the chapter content and test. You may, of course, decide to opt out of this activity, but you will want to include some type of material review for the upcoming Lesson 10 chapter assessment. You can certainly do this and the game if you would like. Finally, in Lesson 10, you will administer the one thing all students long for, the chapter test. We have now covered the majority of the Truth in Science Teacher's Edition. In the back of the text, you will find a glossary listing all of the vocabulary words and their respective chapters. Furthermore, you will find an index containing many of the important words contained in the TE. So let's move on now to the student step, the other half of this exciting new approach to science education. The student steps are individual student texts that include all of the information contained in the TE's Teach and Apply section, along with all of the student activities required for each lesson. For the most part, the only difference between the TE and student steps is that the steps do not contain any of the commentary material or any of the tab material, though some of it is slipped in. Each step contains 25 to 30 pages of science education, including the evolutionary science they need to pass secular tests. The flexibility built into the student steps is not new to Christian Science curricula, but the inclusion of worldview integrated science along with this flexibility makes it immediately rank among the best creation science student textbooks around. Truth in Science student steps were created to serve as a standalone science curriculum. By that, we mean that there is no science taught in the Teacher's Edition that is not included in the steps written on the student's level. Therefore, a student can work his or her way through a given step independently and learn good, solid science while also receiving proper worldview understanding of the biblical interpretation. However, when combined with the additional insights related to the teacher by the commentary and tabs material, the student who completes the Truth in Science program will truly be a step ahead. Each step is formatted to reflect the material in the TE. Each lesson's first page will give the student an outline of what they will be studying and a vocabulary list. Teachers, please note, the vocabulary list on the first page will contain all of the words the students will be tested on, plus there may be a few more. There's no set pattern. For instance, 10 words on the list, 7 words on the test. So the student would be well advised to be familiar with all of the words and their meanings. Additionally, the student will find the chapter's bedrock and memory verse on this page. As an added feature, each step has many more illustrations than are in the TE. Many of the illustrations used as support for the teacher will appear in the student step as well. The KWL chart and matching vocabulary list appear in the first lesson too. As a side note, since the Report to You project is recommended to be assigned during Lesson 1, this assignment appears in Lesson 1 of the step. If you should opt to forego this assignment until Lesson 8, be sure your students know your intentions. And finally, the student will find respective science journal pages on which he or she may record the findings of the activities in Lessons 2 and 7. These steps have been formatted and produced in such a way that the books themselves can be turned in for grading and returned to the student to proceed on to the next lesson. Their name can be written in the space provided on the back cover. Well, that about does it. Don't forget that there are supporting illustrations available to help you as you teach. They can be used as handouts or transparencies as you deem appropriate. These illustrations can be downloaded from the Truth in Science website for free. Before I leave you, I would like to say thank you for joining our family. We, the staff at Truth in Science, the writers, the editors, and myself, have a burden for those of you who are attempting to bring up a child in the way he should go, so when he is old, he will not depart from it. We know the forces that are formed against you. There are many out there who believe we cannot recover what has been lost. We are not convinced. We believe that as we begin to systematically reshape our culture's worldview to once again reflect the Bible, one family at a time, we can expect God's blessings upon our endeavors. It is with this hope that we are honored to bring to you the Truth in Science curriculum. God bless you and your students.